Hi, it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel and to yet another book haul. I have tried to film this 4 times and I have been terrible each of the 4 times. Hoping this time will be better. So let's start with my book of the month books. The first one that I picked up, my actual April selection, was American War by Omar El Akkad. I think that's how you say his name. If it's not, correct me. Help me out. I do apologize. This is takes place in the future where, and I think 2074, see? Bad. 2074, a second civil war. I've said world war every time. Second civil war breaks out in America. And I think we follow a girl through that time. Feels important at the moment. Then I also picked up Exit West by Mohsin Ahmed. Oof. See? And also I've struggled with his name every time. I've heard it pronounced 500 different ways. So I apologize about that too. Everyone's heard about this and is raving about it. And it's about a sort of like a romance story or just kind of a love story where this couple who's in this unnamed, I think, city in the Middle East, and they are exiting west to supposedly, I guess, a better future, and they are doing so through portal doors. So it's got that kind of fantastical element. And as you know, it's a story about being a refugee and immigrants and things, and so also really timely. So, the next book I have is the third book in a YA fantasy trilogy. You guys, I'm reading a lot of fantasy because a friend and I are thinking about writing separate YA novels set in the same world. A world of our own creation, but we're thinking about it. So we're doing our research, and because neither one of us, YA is not the thing that we primarily read, we're reading a bunch of it this year. So, the third book is The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson, and it's ginormous, but it's an easy read. So, hoping to read this probably this month so I can wrap up the series, and I'll do a full review and maybe talk more about the project and just kind of what I'm thinking about YA these days surrounding my reading of this. Then, you guys, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I don't talk too much about Southern American lit, which is maybe weird considering that I am born and raised in the deep South here in Georgia. And I come from small town Georgia. You know, I get the South. You know, I've lived here my whole life. But most Southern literature I hate. And maybe I'll talk about that in another video. But I was reading a list because I'm always desperate to find something from the homeland here that I will enjoy. So I was reading a list of like SEBA award winners, and SEBA I think stands for Southern Indie Bookseller Association, something like that. They have a conference every year. Anyhow, I saw this on a list and I picked it up, and it clicks a lot of boxes. First, it's a short story collection. Second, it has a beautiful cover. Third, it is published by an indie publisher, and also it's dark. And most Southern things I like do tend towards the darker, more gothic elements of Southern literature. Look at this book. This is called Monstrous of Appalachia by Cheryl Monks. Don't at me about how I said Appalachia. I come from the deep South, and that's how we say it. I've never heard anyone from here who doesn't say Appalachia. Okay? I will get someone in the comments tell me I'm wrong. Anyways, look how beautiful. There are 15 stories in here, and I think like one of them is about an old couple who's like hunting monsters, and another is maybe about this girl who's dating some guy who might be the devil. I mean, it's worth a try, and it's not long. I also picked up I picked up a few things from the Bailey's long list, but might be the only one in this particular video. There's going to be multiple of these. Prepare yourselves. And that is The Lonely Hearts Hotel by Heather O'Neill. I don't know anything about it except that people have been really loving it and the cover's gorgeous. And I think one of my animals got hold of this and scratched it, which is really sad. So I also picked up a couple of things this month based on the tournament of books and like the commentary and the books that were selected and the ones that I got kind of interested in. And one of them was Version Control by Dexter Palmer. I think David at the Poptimist also did a review on this last year and he really liked it. And so I've had my eye on it. It's kind of a time travel-y novel. And then reading the commentary and how far this got, how well it did in the tournament of books really intrigued me. So I don't want to know much more about it than what I just told you guys, which is next to nothing, I know, but I look forward to it. Yeah. Exhilarating, a thoughtful, powerful overhaul of the age-old time travel tale. Quote by NPR. Moving on to more YA. The Winter's Curse by Mary Rakowski? Sorry if I said that wrong. So this is the first in this trilogy here that I've heard really good things about from multiple people, even people who don't read a lot of YA. I don't know what it's about either. Surprise. But that's for the research. And then I picked up Rabbit Cake by Annie Hartnett, which it's been going around BookTube. It's been going around the book world. And it's published by Tin House. Yellow books, published by indie publishers, are always going to attract me. Yellow is one of my favorite colors, if you don't know. It's just weird. You know, it's odd because I think I hated yellow for a really long time until I didn't. And it was my grandmother's favorite color, so. My grandmother really loved yellow and purple. She was not an LSU fan, so whatever, but she loved those two colors, like her coffin casket. Yellow and purple. And we also sang Hallelujah at a funeral. Let me tell you, Southerners, we are a blessed people. Yeah. So this is, I think, kind of a darkly humorous story about a little girl named Elvis growing up in Alabama, I think. Because at the end, in the very beginning, her mom dies by sleepwalking into a river. And I think I read the first sentence, and her body floated across the border over into Georgia. So we'll see. More Southern. Is this real Southern lit? Where's Annie Hartnett from? I'm gonna look her up. Y'all are just gonna watch me look her up. Okay. I feel like I'm getting really Southern right now. She lives in Providence. Okay, she got her MFA from University of Alabama. I don't know where she's from. Hopefully she's from Alabama. Speaking of Southerners, here is Sunshine State by Sarah Gerard. She wrote Binary Star. This is published by Harper, but Binary Star was published indie. I want to say it's Jello Radio who did that one. I haven't read it, want to. This is nonfiction. And I think it is just essays about Florida, the Sunshine State, as it is. Here's some creatures from Florida. So if you don't know, I come from South Georgia, which is 15 minutes from the Florida border. I spent a lot of my childhood in and around various different places in Florida. And it's a very interesting state. It is one of the most unique states, and it's known for being really strange. And it is. Florida is just like a whole other world. And it's each area of Florida is so different from the other areas in Florida. Anyways, I hope this is great. I hope this is really great. I have such high hopes, and I just really like the cover. Just so you know, I like the cover. Then I picked up, this is, I think, was on the Hugo nominations. And I've been looking at it for a while. I just don't know what it's about. Someone's a Mycroft Canner of the book is Too Like the Lightning by Ada Palmer. I think this is science fiction. And Mycroft Canner is a convict. For his crimes, he is required, as is the custom of the 25th century, to wander the world being useful to all he meets. Carlisle Foster is a sensei, a spiritual counselor in a world that has outlawed the public practice of religion, but which also knows that the inner lives of humans cannot be wished away. It goes on. But it's science fiction or fantasy. I don't know. I'll never know. Maybe it's just... Blurred by Joe Walton. You guys, I've been at work all day. I lack coherency. I know this. And another fantasy science fiction SFF author. I'm just going to say SFF because I don't know what I'm talking about. It's pretty clear. Anyway, this is Ursula K. Le Guin's The Dispossessed. I've decided to give Ursula K. Le Guin a chance. This one seems timely. It opens up about something about a wall. I mean, really, there was a wall. It did not look important. It was built of uncut rocks, roughly mortared. An adult could look right over it, and even a child could climb it. Where it crossed the roadway, instead of having a gate, it degenerated into mere geometry. A line, an idea of boundary. But the idea was real. It was important. For 7 generations, there had been nothing in the world more important than that wall. Timely. Lots of timely books in this one. And then finally, a little book I picked up on a whim because I think it was on sale is Good Morning Midnight by Lily Brooks Dalton. It's got a really pretty cover. It's blurred by Colson Whitehead. That might have been what did it. I don't know what it's about. It says, Good Morning Midnight is the haunting and unforgettable story of 2 outsiders, a lonely scientist in the Arctic, and an astronaut trying to return to Earth as they grapple with love, regret, and survival in a world transformed. Okay, so that sounds really interesting. It's really short. So, okay. That's the first part of my haul. The next part's going to be just as long, if not longer. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.